A student's overview of the ageless wisdom was carefully compiled from the following books by Alice A. Bailey. A Treatise on Cosmic Fire. Esoteric Psychology, Volumes 1 and 2. Esoteric Healing. Esoteric Astrology. The Rays and the Initiations. Students are encouraged to download the free PDF version of this overview by following the link in the video's description, or to order a printed copy at cost from thebookpatch.com, but are advised to read the original, unabridged books in order to gain deeper insight into the ageless wisdom. Students are also invited to join our online study group at facebook.com/groups/students of the ageless wisdom. Chapter 8: A Treatise on Cosmic Fire. The origin of manas, or mind. 1. Cosmic manas. Individualization is literally the coming together, out of the darkness of abstraction. A. The process of individualization. At individualization, the two poles, spirit and matter, are approximated, light streams forth irradiating the cave of matter and lighting the pathway back to source. This irradiation brings about self-realization, purpose, separation from all other spheres, consciousness, ability to evolve and the capacity to shine ever more unto the perfect day. B. There are three methods of individualization. 1. The methods of the moon chain when, through innate force and energy, the conjunction of the three fires was brought about. The spark of mind, working through instinct, drove the material form into activity where its opposite pole could be contacted. Animal man aspired, spirit answered, thus was consciousness awakened. 2. The other method involves the use of the rod of initiation, which has certain effects. A. Stimulation of the latent fires. B. Synthesis of the fires that brings them within the radius of each other. C. Increase of the vibratory activity of some center. D. Expansion of all the bodies but primarily the causal body. 3. The method of occult abstraction will be the method used in the next solar system. 2. Planetary manas. A planetary logos individualized in a previous system, a man individualized in this. The planetary entities, now involutionary, will individuate in the next. From the wider point of view, initiation and individualization are synonymous, both expressing the idea of an expansion of consciousness, or of entrance into a new kingdom of nature. 3. Human manas. Manas is the active will of an entity working itself out through all the lesser lives who go to the content of the ring pass knot, or sphere of influence of the indwelling existence. Therefore, man on this chain is expressing the purpose and will of the planetary logos in whose body he is a cell, or lesser life. The human and deva units on the upward arc, who are the cells in the planetary body, form the centers not the remainder of the cellular vital substance of his vehicle. Presently the solar system is of the fourth order, Earth is the fourth scheme in the system, upon the fourth chain in the scheme, the fourth globe in the chain and upon the fourth round. The planets Venus and Jupiter are exceedingly closely connected with the Earth and form an esoteric triangle. Saturn is the synthesizing scheme for the four planets. Mercury is the star of the intuition or transmuted manas. Venus Jupiter Earth is the feminine pole, Vulcan Mars Mercury the masculine regarding the Star of David. Uranus Neptune Saturn form the trinity with the Sun making the 10 manas and the Earth chain. Manas arrived upon the Earth scheme via the Venus chain because Logoic Kundalini had vitalized one of the systemic triangles of force. This produced the individualization of those, particularly in the human hierarchy, who form a center in the body of the planetary logos. The Earth chain and the incarnating monads, only one group in the fourth hierarchy was affected by the coming in of manas in the third root race. Therefore, there are two groups in incarnation on the planet at this time, one group which received the manasic stimulation during this world period and another which received it during the previous chain, who are those who now tread the probationary path. Owing to the difference between the two groups may be traced much of the world unrest. End of page 38. This should all be studied from the cosmic and systemic, planetary, chains, globes and root races. 1. Cosmic involves the study of the place of the solar logos within his greater sphere, bearing relation to the various suns with their systems, individual polarization and their interaction. 2. Systemic concerns the heavenly men within the logoic body, their interplay and cycles. 3. Planetary concerns the history of the individual scheme and with the consciousness and evolution of some particular heavenly man. 4. Chains. Students may contemplate the 7 globes of the chain of which is he a component as seen in time. A scheme in its totality corresponds to the monad. A chain corresponds to the egoic body of a human being, the causal body with its 7 great cycles. 5. Globes. A globe, with its 7 races corresponds to a particular series of incarnations in connection with a man, incarnate or discarnate, for all globes are not on physical levels. A physical globe in a chain corresponds to a particular incarnation of a man, planet, etc. 6. Root races. In a root race, a heavenly man is living out his life, developing buddhi and in the process of experiencing. He sweeps into his vibratory capacity all cells in his body. The fourth kingdom and the hierarchy of the planet. Students are aware that manas came present within the human family on earth during the third root race by the coming, in bodily presence, of certain great entities from the Venusian chain and that they undertook the government of the planet, founded the hierarchy and many have since returned to their originating source. This was literally the coming of the Avatar. This was brought about by a systemic alignment which involved the Venus scheme of the system, the Venus chain of the Earth scheme and the Venus globe of the Earth chain. The planetary logos did not come from the Venus scheme, but from the Venus chain of his own scheme, the Earth scheme. 1. Manas and Karma. Having seen that manas is the intelligent purpose of some being, working out in active objectivity, and upon having touched the interrelation between certain entities, it may now be possible to envision the manasic principle in all 3 cases. The mystery lies hidden in 2 fundamentals. 1. The resolution of the 6-pointed star into the 5-pointed star. 2. The mystery of the lords of karma, who are in themselves the sole recipients of the mind purposes of that entity who enfolds our solar logos within his consciousness. 2. Manas and karmic purpose. If it is realized that manas and intelligent purpose are practically synonymous terms, will be apparent that karma and the activities of the Lipika lords will be involved in the matter. It will also be apparent that only as the lower mind is transmuted into the abstract, or higher mind, and from thence into the intuition, will man be able to understand the significance of manas. Man is spirit working through matter by means of the intelligence. As man progresses, he realizes that the aim of evolution for him is to consciously build the channel between the planes of the abstract, or the ideal, and the concrete ones whereon he normally functions. End of page 39. Man is literally the path itself, built a. by means of the manasic principle consciously applied, b. by the process of transcending the karmic limitations of the three lower planes, the personality, c. through the expansion of his consciousness through graded steps until it includes the planes he seeks. The manasic principles, whether cosmic, system or human, manifests in 5 ways, is transmuted into wisdom after its 5-fold manifestation, and is eventually resolved into pure will or power. Students need to remember the distinction between transmutation and the final resolution, between the process of transforming the 5 elements and the final resolution of the transmuted essences into their synthesis. The present stage of manasic development. 1. In the planets. The third aspect combined with the second, Brahma and Vishnu, go to the totality of the divine Manasaputras. They are will utilizing matter in order to demonstrate love wisdom. This Brahma aspect is 5-fold, and with the Vishnu aspect makes the 6, or the pentagon, having Mahadeva, or will, in the center of all manifestation. This 5-fold Brahma aspect, or the 5 Kumras, are in full manifestation, and with the reflection of the other 2 aspects, makes the 7 of our manifested system. Mercury and Venus are in process of transmutation, and the manasic principle in both schemes, having reached a light stage of development, is being transmuted into love wisdom. When 3/5 of the Deva and human units that compose the planetary logos are entering upon the path, then the process of transmutation is entered upon. The faculty of mind is then an instrument for creative use, and not a barrier to the free life of the spirit. During involution, the sequence of merging is seen as 3, then 7 and then 10. During evolution, the sequence is 10, then 7 and finally 3. Both paths originate and ultimately unite with the one. 2. In the system. 3 broad outstanding generalizations might be summed up as follows. A. Position, the place of the system within its greater whole, and its relation to the corporate nature of the lesser lives in all manifestation. This involves the concepts of a cosmic system, a solar system, groups or unified bodies within the scheme, aggregations of cells and their subdivisions by group, and the individualized cells or units, of which each is a conscious entity yet has no existence apart from its groups. Each of these divisions is characterized by a. an ensouling life, b. intelligent activity, c. power to evolve or progress, d. capacity to cohere, b. relation, the study of the different polarities of the different spheres, from a planetary scheme to an atom, within the solar ring pass knot, and of the relation existing between a scheme and the totality of schemes, b. scheme and scheme, c. chain and chain, d. globe and globe, e. group and group, f. subdivision and subdivision, g. unit and unit, h. cell and cell. These interactions come under the second aspect, yet self-consciousness itself is the result of the Manasic principle and the close cooperation between these two factors, of mind and love-wisdom, or the laws of attraction and synthesis. C. Limitation presupposes a capacity beyond that manifested, b. duality, that which is limited and the limiting substance. C. Purpose, for limitation persists just as long as it is required to attain certain ends and is succeeded by abstraction. End of page 40. 3. On the earth. A. The 5 Kumras are the sum total of manas on the earth. The Lord of the world, the first Kumra, is the planetary logos of our scheme in physical incarnation. The 3 Kumras that are associated with him are called the Buddhas of activity, are but the vice-agents upon our planet of those 3 planetary logo who, with our planetary logos, make the sum total of the logoic quaternary. There are also the 3 esoteric Kumras, who represent the 3 other logo and so make focal points for all the logoic forces within our chain. In each chain, such representatives are found, 6 focal points embraced by the 7th, who holds them all within his aura. Their work is threefold. 1. They are the centers in the body of the planetary logos. Each chain corresponds to one center, and the globes are but the lesser wheels within any particular center. The life of the logos in this incarnation is flowing through 3 centers and beginning to stimulate a 4th, hence 4 globes are involved and the 3 Kumras are intelligently active, 3 are in abeyance and 1 is beginning to function. The globes correspond to the chains. 2. They act as transmitters of a particular type of force to those units who comprise any particular center. They are the agents for the lords of the rays to the monads in any particular chain on any particular globe. 3. They are the agents for a. the Lord of a ray, b. the 4 Maharajas, c. the planetary logos, d. the great Deva of the Earth planet. They work with the law, are the cognizers of the intelligent purpose of the planetary logos, and know his plans and serve as the link between the chain and the scheme. b. the moon chain. The relative failure that was the fate of the moon chain in our scheme has greatly handicapped their work and made it imperative for them to employ drastic measures in order to offset that failure. Herein lies another clue to the world turmoil. The moon chain with the earth chain formed 2 units, or 2 polarities, negative and positive. The point of merging was reached and the earth chain absorbed, or synthesized, the moon chain in the same sense as certain planetary schemes will merge until only 3 will apparently be left. Earth, therefore, is essentially dual in its nature, being the sum total of a male and a female chain. The moon chain was a chain wherein a systemic failure was to be seen. It is connected with the lower principles, which are now superseded, and the sexual misery of this planet finds its origin in the moon failure. The progress of evolution on the moon was abruptly disturbed and arrested by the timely interference of the solar logos. As a result, the conditions of agony and of distress found upon Earth are found in no such degree within any other scheme. The misuse of vibratory power and the perversion, or distortion of force against the line of evolution, account for much of the moon mystery. Certain results, such as the finding of its polar opposite, were unduly hastened on the moon chain, and the consequence was an uneven development and retardation of the evolution of a certain number of Deva and human units. The origin of the feud between the Lords of the Dark Face and the Brotherhood of Light, which found scope for activity in Atlantean days and during the present root race, can be traced back to the moon chain. End of page 41. End of chapter 8.